Tess and the Fox Hunt, the second Tess Adventure. It was 2 years since Tess arrived as quite possibly the most wanted puppy ever. She'd been a present for Billy, but both Billy's mum and dad had a real soft spot for the mother of this puppy. When they found out that Jess was having pups, it was only a matter of time before they succumbed to Billy's pleading. Billy had asked for a dog before, but this time all the pre-puppy promises had been met. He had fulfilled his part of the bargain, got his puppy, and Tess, as she was named, had grown into a fine healthy dog. At every opportunity Tess would be playing with Billy, mostly in the garden, but as Billy grew older they sometimes ventured into the field, which was through the garden gate and beyond. This was an adventure for Tess, but she knew it quite well by now, often visiting her friends Owl and Fox when Billy was at school. Tess had made new friends, discovered new things when she was off exploring. It was one of these afternoon adventures, 2 or 3 miles from home, when Tess came across a strange house in the middle of what looked like a rubbish tip. It had caravans inside the big wire fence that surrounded it. Caravans, lorries. Tess found it all a little bit frightening. She was just about to run away when she heard 1 and then 2 tiny yelps. She walked around the fence a little way towards the source of the sound and stopped. There were 2 puppies chained around an old kennel surrounded by rubbish. They were large puppies, nearly the size of Tess already, but Tess saw the young years in their eyes. Tess inched her nose closer to the fence, trying to gain the trust of the 2 pups. They, in turn, started inching slowly forward, but unable to make that last step. "Hello, I'm Tess. I live near here." "Well, it's quite a way, I suppose. Are you okay?" The 2 pups were extremely cautious at first, but it wasn't long before they began to trust their instincts about Tess. Soon they were nose to nose through the fence. Better still, Tess saw a slight movement in what should have been 2 of the waggiest of tails. The pups looked so sad, really thin. Over the next few weeks, Tess visited them as often as she could, often with a tasty treat she had saved from her own dinner. Gradually, over time, Tess began to learn more about them. They were called Spike 1 and Spike 2 by the men who should have been looking after them. Tess learnt other things about them as well. Apparently they were pit bull terriers, although Tess didn't know what that meant. She found out the 2 Spikes never really had a mum that they could remember. Tess remembered well her cuddles and snuggles with her mum and sisters. She sometimes wondered if she could be mum to the 2 Spikes. As the weeks went on, Tess visited the 2 Spikes more and more. Now they would be waiting for her to push her nose through the fence so they could nuzzle and get as close to her as they could. Sometimes when she visited, she saw that the 2 Spikes had been beaten. This is when Tess cried as she tried to sleep, thinking about her 2 friends. One day when Tess went to visit the 2 Spikes, they were gone. She always thought that they'd left home because they were sad. She missed them so much, thought about them all the time. She didn't know they'd been taken away to a life so horrible it was too hard to think about. A few days after the 2 Spikes had gone, one morning after Billy had gone to school, Tess was alone in the house and decided it was time to pay another visit to her friends, Owl and Fox, beyond the field. She wanted to talk to Owl in particular about the 2 Spikes, but couldn't have known something just as tragic lay ahead. Tess lapped at her water, then finished breakfast before setting off through the garden and beyond into the field and through the dark wood. Tess knew the route to Owl's tree very well. She used a special path, not for directions, but for racing home before she was missed. Each time she got quicker, shaving seconds off the time it took her to get home. She didn't get home earlier, just stayed longer with her friends. Fox said she was probably faster than Hare on that route. He was always threatening to set up a race. Tess was slightly confident. She had all the tricks, but she'd seen Hare run fast, blimey. When Tess got to the pond, she sensed something was wrong immediately. Looking up into the tall tree, Tess saw Owl. She was up a lot higher on the branch as usual. "Hello, Owl," shouted Tess. "Why are you up so high? My neck will ache." "Hello, Tess," replied Owl, flying down to a more sociable branch. "What a day you have chosen to visit. The hunt has come through. Fox is in hiding. She's in terrible trouble. They chased her for hours. I'm terrified they'll find her, Tess. If they do, they'll kill her." Tess was very puzzled. Who could possibly want to hurt Fox? "In fear of her life," said Tess. "Who wants to kill her?" "This is hunting season," said Owl. "They chased Fox all over yesterday. She's exhausted. I don't know if she'll survive." "But why are they hunting her?" said Tess. "Are they hungry? Haven't they got enough food?" "It's not about food, Tess. They hunt Fox for sport. They enjoy chasing her. The last time I saw her, she was so exhausted she could hardly stand." "I must find her," said Tess. "I must help her. Do you know where she's hiding?" "Oh, I can't tell you, Tess. If the hounds pick up your scent, they might follow you. You might lead them straight to her." "Hounds? You mean Fox is being chased by dogs like me?" "Not like you, Tess. These dogs are bred to chase foxes. They don't know any better. They're trained to hunt, and this time I feel they will get her." "Tess, I don't think Fox can run anymore." Tess was crying. She had to do something to help Fox. "Tell me where she is, Owl. I must help her." Owl saw the tears on Tess's face and fell quiet for a minute. "If you do want to help her, Tess, I might have a plan, but it will be very dangerous and you'll be risking your life as well as Fox's." "Tell me what to do," said Tess, with a determination in her voice that told Owl that she would not be talked out of helping Fox. Owl flew down onto an even lower branch and began to tell Tess the details of her plan to save Fox. Tess listened with complete concentration to everything that Owl said. Pausing for a second after she'd finished, Tess looked Owl in the eyes before setting off, running faster than she'd ever run before with her hop.